everyone, and welcome back to my YouTube channel, Kathy's Random Acts of Stampin'. I'm Kathy, and today we're going to be working with this beautiful bundle from Stampin' Up called Sketched Butterflies. And I'm going to pair it with a small piece of the wildly flowering cardstock. And I chose this piece because I thought it would go beautiful with the Misty Moonlight and Crumb Cake. So let's go ahead and get started with this. And this is a bundle. It comes with the dies, and you do save 10% when you buy the bundle, but make sure if you purchase this that you use the bundle number. If you order separately, you'll pay the full price, but if you use the bundle ordering number, you will get 10% off over buying them separately. So with all that being said, and I'll have all those numbers on my blog on the PDF tutorial that prepare for y'all for free. So let's go ahead and get started with this. The first thing we're going to do is do our card base, and I chose the crumb cake. And all we're going to do is cut this piece in half on the 11-inch side. So line it up to 5.5, which is half of 11. Give it a slice, and this will give us our card base. Now we're going to do some scoring on that in just a minute. So the next thing we need is we need a piece of the crumb cake that is going to be, and I wrote my notes down, what I'm going to do with them. This piece needs to be 1 7/8 by 5 1/4. So 1 7/8 right there. By 5 1/4. And that piece is good. Now we need to cut the designer series paper, and this piece needs to be 1 5/8. So 1 1/2, and it's the long mark after the half is 5/8. So 1 5/8, and this needs to be by 5. So line it up to 5 inches and give it a little slice. All right, so we're going to need some other pieces, but those are going to be just some scrap pieces. I'm going to bring up my scoreboard. This is the Simply Scored scoring tool. And we're going to put our card base in, and we're going to score it at 4 1/4. Oops, I hate it when that jumps the track. Okay, 4 1/4 and 2 1/8. I'll show you a trick. If you get a little piece like that that's not exactly where you want it to be, just take your bone folder and you can usually smooth that back out. Like I was saying, a lot of times we can just iron those little marks out when it jumps the track like that. So just, give it a little press, and a lot of times that will kind of go away. So now what we're going to do is we're going to fold it on that middle score line. Use your bone folder and give that a good burnish, and then fold this piece back like that. And give this a fold. And then we have these pieces, and we're going to put a mat of the Misty Moonlight on that flap, and then we're going to mat this over top of it. Something like that. But before we go any further, we're going to need 2 more mats, and one is going to be white, and one is going to be the Misty Moonlight. And this is going to be for the inside of our card. So what we're going to do is cut this down to 4 by 5 1/4. Actually, this one should have been 3 and 3/4. I'm sorry. So cut this one to 3 and 3/4. I made a boo-boo and by 5. So this is going to be our second mat. So it needs to be a little bit smaller. Now this piece needs to be 4 and 5 1/4. So now we have our inside piece. And if you want to, you can decorate your inside here, but let's go ahead and get our card together and then we'll see what we need to do. The other thing that we need is we need a piece of the Misty Moonlight, and we're going to use the Nested Essential dies, and let's see if I have those out. Nope. Nested Essentials. I am going to go ahead and tape this down. And then we need a piece of white. And this too can just be a scrap. And we're going to cut this out of the white piece. Like that. So let me go off camera and we'll cut these real quick and I'll be right back. Right, I'm back and we're going to cut both of our labels. So get that out and that one out. Now we're going to have this very pretty piece that we can layer on top of each other. And we are going to cut some butterflies now using the sketched butterflies. I chose this grouping of 3 together. And we're also going to stamp one in black. And I'm going to actually use my VersaFine for this because I want a nice, vibrant color. So this one right here. I'm going to stamp that about there. So pretty. And we're going to put this down over top of it. And we're going to cut that out. Just like that. So I'm going to bring up my die cut machine again and lay this on. Like that. And then we have all of these beautiful little butterflies, and you've got quite a bit of little pieces in there that you need to make sure you flick out. And we'll take care of that in just a minute. And then let's pull this one. So pretty. I think everybody loves butterflies. They're just something about a butterfly that just kind of lightens your heart. All right, so now we need our take your pick tool because we're going to flick out some of these little pieces. This gives our butterflies that lacy look. Just like that. So pretty. Now we can bring this piece back over. And let's bring our card over. And I want to work on putting my butterflies on here first. And I think I want them something like that. And I'm thinking of this stamp that says thinking of you. Let's make sure we can make that fit. I'll stamp it and then I'm going to put my butterflies around it. So I want that to go right about there. So I'm going to pick that up. And again, I'm going to use that same ink. I'll pull it off of the mat so that I have a nice even surface for stamping. Now we can put these right about there. And this one can go right here. Isn't that beautiful? So I am going to go ahead and adhere my butterflies. I'm just going to use a little bit of liquid glue. Like that. I want the wings to have a little look to them. All right, just a little, like that. Give it a little bit of dimension. And now we can pop this up, and I'm going to use some dimensionals. And that is together. So now let's go ahead and put our other pieces together. And I saw this card on Pinterest, and that's where I got my inspiration. And I did do mine just a tiny bit different with some of the things, but the layout and the concept is the same. And I just thought it was lovely. It was an easy card to put together. And sometimes we need something that is beautiful but easy. And this definitely was the perfect combination of that. So we're going to lay this down in the center, give it a press. Now we want to stamp on this piece. So for this one, I am going to stamp this butterfly. So I think I'll pick him up right there, and I want to do it in the misty moonlight. So pretty. And I would like some little specks. So I'm going to look in my stamps and see what I have. The Irresistible Balloons has some little dots, so I'm going to pull those out. But I don't want to stamp them down like straight. I'm going to get a piece of scrap paper. Just a regular piece of notebook paper, a scratch. And I am going to ink them, stamp them, stamp them. Yeah, that's about what I want. So stamp, and then stamp. Okay, so now we're ready to put this on here. And I think I want to do um, I think I'm going to do this one. It says, trust in the Lord with all your heart, and he will direct your path. Proverbs 3, 5 through 6. And I love this verse because it's just perfect. So I'm going to put that down right there. There's my marker block. It's somewhere over here. Okay, let's just go ahead and pick this up like so. And I'm going to use that Misty Moonlight again. And then I'm going to bring this in and center it right about here. Give it a good press to make sure that ink transfers. Oh, so pretty. Isn't that just beautiful? Now we're ready to put this inside our card. Well, after we put this onto our mat. Now we're ready to put this in here. And I'm still thinking I want something in this section. And we're going to lay this in out like that. And then we're going to put this over right about here. Now we're only going to need glue on this side. So I am going to go with my glue, and I'm going to be generous. Just like that. Now that makes such a beautiful card and a great presentation. I love the way this turned out. I hope that you did. I'll have all the dimensions and I don't think we need anything there after all because this is going to fold out over it. And I kind of like the contrast. So we're going to leave it as is. I do want to do a bow, and we're going to use our linen thread, absolute favorite. And I'm going to make a fairly loopy bow. underneath there. Give that a good little tug. Then we're going to pull that off of my fingers and let's see what we have. Very loopy, cute bag. So I'm going to cut this off and then we're going to put this bow right about there. And I'm going to use a glue dot because that's my favorite way to put down a bow. And since it's linen thread, I'm going to roll that up into a tiny, tiny little dot and stick it right there. And then I'll just press this into it just like that. And there's our bow. And let's see if we have, let's do some of the little butterflies. These are so cute. And let's do one there. Isn't that pretty? I love it. I love the way it turned out. You'll have to leave me a comment. Let me know if you like this card. And also let me know where you're watching from. I love your comments. It helps me feel like I'm in touch with y'all as much as you are with me. So God bless and keep you. Thank you so much for tuning in today. If you're interested in purchasing any of the products that I showed and you're not currently working with the Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, I would absolutely love it if you would choose me to order from. It helps me continue to put up videos like this and bring you content. So thanks again so much. And as I always say in closing, let everything that you do and say bring honor and glory to our Savior Jesus. He is worthy. Until next time, bye.